Hello, and welcome to another edition of It's Just Me. I'm Brent Fox. Today's show is probably going to be a brief one because there is not much to report, to be quite honest. My Pittsburgh Steelers are getting ready to gear up for training camp. I will say, however, there is a very impressive training video that Jaylen Warren has actually put out. That if you're a Steelers fan, or even a Jaylen Warren fan, please just go check that out. I highly recommend it. Speaking of running backs, I do wish him a very productive season. Shouts out to Rico Dowdle as well. Now, I find it real ironic that we are celebrating the fact that Rico Dowdle has had consistent 1,000-yard seasons. And we had a guy that also had consistent 1,000-yard seasons. Najee Harris had 4 consistent 1,000-yard seasons as opposed to Rico Dowdle's 2. And with performing that particular task with a very questionable offensive line the majority of that particular 4-year stretch, I would say that Najee has serviced us quite well, but you really don't appreciate things until you don't have them anymore, and we shall see. I do wish both these gentlemen success, and hopefully maybe they could be the first 1,000-yard rushers on one team at one season. I do remember Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw, I think, doing it like way back. I think it might have been like 2009, 2010, something like that. And I think Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams, I think, did that in Carolina as well. But I don't think that there has been recently, 2 running backs on the same team rushing for 1,000 yards in the same season. So, I know that's a lot of wishful thinking, but maybe it might happen. We'll see. Now, as far as depth on offense and other skill positions, people sometimes call tight ends a skill position, and then others may not so much. I think that if you are doing anything with the ball, then it is a skill position. So with the combination of Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth, I think that they'll be utilized a bit more and hopefully properly, especially on third and mid-range situations like 3rd, 6th, 3rd, and 7th, things of that nature. I really would like to be able to see how they would be utilized in that West Coast system that Coach McCarthy actually has. So we'll see as far as that. And then as far as the receiver room, I look forward to a resurgence from Roman Wilson. I expect him to be a lot more productive. I know that we've drafted Jeremy Bernard, but I am really, really thinking that with the work that I've seen from Roman Wilson, and then, when he was actually active and involved, I think we played the Packers, and he had, I think, 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry. He didn't have 2 touchdowns against the Packers. I think he had 2 touchdowns the whole season, but one of those touchdowns was actually against the Packers. And I think that if we are able to properly utilize him, he could be a major asset for us as well. I am excited about the pickup of Michael Pittman Jr. To complement DK Metcalf. And with Jeremy Bernard, of course, a very multifaceted player. I think that doesn't do anything but actually level up that receiver room. So very excited about that particular room as well. Uh, Quarterback, we do have a 43-year-old version of Aaron Rodgers, but that version is good enough to actually deliver the ball on time. So I look forward to seeing a more productive season from him. And I think our developing offensive line, I think that we're actually going to wind up having growing pains the first portion of the season, but I think as the season moves on, that line will probably coagulate and gel. And I think because of that, again, Rico Dowdle and Jalen Warren may be 1,000-yard backs individually. So, we'll see. A lot of wishful thinking, but we'll see. But that's kind of my outlook as far as the offense for the Steelers. Defensively, I do look forward to what adaptive strategy Patrick Graham is going to implement. And I know it's probably going to be based off of the play of the actual defense, and then he'll adapt a strategy that way. But I'm just curious to see the drastic difference that's actually going to be shown between himself and, of course, previous defensive coordinator Terrell Austin. So I do look forward to seeing how our defense actually adapts to a whole new strategy. And, I'm definitely excited about that. Special teams wise, I know that we have the kid from Iowa. I think it's Sweden. I call him Swiffer Wetjet. I should not be calling him that, but and then of course the kid from Navy. I think that those are exciting prospects as far as returners. But we'll see how that actually develops. Other than that, yeah, not much with my Steelers. Now, as far as the world of boxing actually goes, there is a fight card for those hardcore fight fans. It's going to be on DAZN tonight. In May, I guess the main card will probably start around maybe 8. Diego Pacheco, who is a rising star at the 168-pound division, will be taking on Emmanuel Alim. Manuel is spelled with an I. And, little fun fact. But this gentleman is a very little-known fighter. And then, of course, Andy Cruz is also going to be back in action. I'm not sure whether or not he actually had a fight after the Ray Mortalia fight, but I'm thinking that him taking on this gentleman, Abraham Montoya, who is very little known, helps him along. I think this is made to be a showcase fight. And I think the work with Bozzy Ennis and the group in Philadelphia should just kind of help bolster his confidence. So hopefully both those gentlemen, both Pacheco and also Cruz, have good showings tonight and are just kind of able to move forward in their careers. There is some news regarding the card with Errol Spence and Tim Tszyu. Unfortunately, Jermall Charlo is unable to make the card due to visa issues. Shouts out to Stormy B Band for actually breaking that news open. Salute, Sensei, or Sensei. But yes, thanks again to Stormy B Man for breaking that particular news. But because of visa issues, Jermall Charlo is going to is not going to be able to actually participate in that particular card, which is going to take place next week, which is July 25th. So that is very unfortunate. And, believe it or not, I think this is a huge setback. You can't waste a camp, basically. And especially at the age that he's actually at, which is 36, you don't want to waste a camp. So hopefully there may be some sort of alternative to where he may be able to either fight locally in Houston, or he could probably get on another card in the next few weeks and be able to fight on that. But you definitely don't want to waste a camp. You definitely don't want to do that at the age that he's actually at. And the reason that I'm stressing that is because, of course, with a demanding sport or a demanding art like boxing, if you are putting your body through a training camp, you want to make sure that whatever type of physical shape that you're in, the skills that you actually built during that particular camp, and then of course how can I explain this properly? You need so the training camp is to actually prepare you for the fight. The fight is basically a release from that particular training camp. So everything that you've built up to get ready for this particular moment, that actually needs to come out in a fight. Again, you can't get that particular time and effort back that you put into that camp for you not to perform. So, I'm definitely hoping that within the next few weeks, Jamal will be able to fight on somebody's card, if not his own, to try to make sure that he doesn't waste that camp. So, thoughts and prayers are with Jamar Charlo. Hopefully no type of episodes, psychologically or anything like that happen. And I truly am wishing him all the best. Seriously. With guys like that, and I did see the Andre Ward interview. With guys like that, man, you definitely kind of worry about what they're actually gonna do when all of this is actually over. I know that he was mentioning that, I'm just gonna be myself and all this other stuff, but and he, a little bit of a spoiler, he did mention that, he initially just did not want to box, but he never gave any type of definite answer as far as what he would actually do if he were not boxing. So, if someone is accustomed to a certain lifestyle, that lifestyle drastically changes. And with his mindset and personality, I don't know how well he actually handles that. So, hopefully he has a good support system around him, and people that actually love and care for him, and they'll probably help him through. He has been through quite a lot. Of course, the divorce obviously is taking its toll on him. The situation with the embarrassment with Caleb Plant, and then you have another embarrassing situation of where you're stopped and arrested for a DUI. So I definitely hope that he actually winds up getting it together. On another front, Adrian Broner seems to, and I don't want to really get my hopes up. For me, the Mikey Garcia situation is the ultimate thing that just kind of broke my heart, and I just can't invest too much into AB because of that. Um, it looks as though Adrian Broner is actually just trying to get back on track and, make boxing a part of his life again. I do wish him all the success on that, if that is something that he truly wants to do. Now, one thing that, I didn't really appreciate was, racist Ryan Garcia and his racist father, Henry Garcia, arriving to he and Dean the Great's training facility and just basically taking it over. That's no good. I mean, we make so many concessions to these other people, and if another black person actually makes a mistake or does something that I guess is off code, we are so quick to stomp down on that person. But we are very forgiving with these other people that actually make, very racially charged statements, wanting to join a terrorist group, basically, which is the Ku Klux Klan, and then just stating that he would dig up George Floyd and then unalive him again. Now, of course, there was an apology issued with that, but to be honest with you, and regardless of whether or not people are saying, well, oh no, he was just drunk, or oh no, it could have been the drugs. Okay, the thing about alcohol and drugs is this: that alcohol or drugs, especially drugs, actually bring out what's been inside of you this whole time. So if you're a terrible person when you're high or drunk, you've been a terrible person. You just did a better job of hiding it when you were sober. So yeah, I'm not going for that. Okay, I'm not going for that at all. If we are to, and I'm talking to my Black American people, if we are to actually just stand firm on principles, we need to make sure that we do so, and in order for us to actually be taken seriously. The reason that we're not taken seriously is because of things like this. We'll quote unquote stand on business with another black person, but if someone else like Ryan Garcia or even Teofimo Lopez comes through, and Tio has a vast history of racist remarks, he just put on a gorilla mask and acted like it was all good with his press conference against Rolly Romero. So he's back to his racist antics again, and no one seems to want to be able to. No one seems to want to actually check that at the door with either one of these guys. But if somebody like let's just say Devin Haney says something out of code or something like that, people are all over him. But yeah, we have to do better, y'all. But that's the black empowerment portion of the show. But just kind of getting back to it and then wrapping it up. On a more personal note, I am very excited today because today, or really officially tomorrow, starts the 53rd annual Fox Family Reunion. People are flying down here or coming down here to the Dallas, Texas area. And we are actually going to celebrate each other. We're going to celebrate life. We're going to celebrate great family traditions, and I'm very excited about that. And without further ado, I will go ahead and wrap up the show. It's just me. Of course, I am Brent Fox. And when you have a moment, please check out my brothers from the LDBC, my extended family, Coach 67 Sports TV, on all social media platforms. Check out my brothers, Jared 11 Green and his brother JB on the Southern Baller Show. They usually come on Sundays, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And while you're listening to those shows, please invest in Black-owned business. Old Hillside Bourbon Company, and there's a part, and my brother Joe Townsend is a partial owner of that. So, y'all please partake responsibly, of course. All right, this has been another edition of It's Just Me. I'm Brent Fox, and until next time.